So you're actually doing it. You're going to Hawaii. Congratulations. You're about to experience one of the most beautiful places in all the earth. But now comes one of the hardest parts. One of the hardest questions is which island? Maui or Kauai, Kauai or Maui? And if you've narrowed it down to these two islands, you've picked some incredible options. But these two islands couldn't be more different from each other. So which one is right for you and your trip? Let's find out. Aloha and welcome to Hawaii's Best, the podcast helping you plan an unforgettable Hawaii vacation with clear, practical guidance. I'm Bryan Murphy, a certified Hawaii destination expert, husband, and dad of 3. And each week I break down what actually matters for your Hawaii trip, drawing from local insights and firsthand experience so you can plan with confidence and travel with aloha. Welcome back. Today, I am breaking down exactly what makes each island special, Maui and Kauai. I'm going to go into more further depth into a free guide that you can get at the end of this episode. I'll let you know how to do that. But which one is best for you? Because it's not about what is the best island. It really comes down to what is the best for you and what you're hoping to experience. And maybe for the people that you're traveling with, what is best for their travel style. And by the end of this episode, it's really my goal that you'll know exactly which island to book, Maui or Kauai. This will be part of a series. So maybe Maui or Kauai, you're like, they sound really great, but I don't know if that's the right pick for my trip. In the next coming weeks, I will be doing more island comparisons. So stay tuned for that. Before I make the case for each island, you need to, I think, understand the fundamental differences between them. Now, Maui is called the Valley Isle. And side note, I did a full-on Maui travel guide. This was a couple years ago already with Andrew Fowers from Shaka Guide. We sat down and we did a full Maui travel guide episode, and I'll link that below. Same thing with Kauai. We did a full travel all the way around the island, what to hit up for each of the islands. So I'm going to link both of those in. That would be great to do after this episode. But Maui, it's developed enough to be convenient. Each island has a Costco, so if that helps you out at all. But I think Maui is wild enough to feel like adventure. You can definitely get adventure on Maui. It strikes this beautiful balance between comfort and exploration, while Kauai, the Garden Isle, it's the oldest of the main Hawaiian islands at 5 million years old. And throughout that whole time has carved out some of the most dramatic landscapes I think you'll see ever. But it's also made some 80% of the island completely inaccessible by road. If you're thinking about exploring all of Kauai, you got to understand that you can't drive most of Kauai. So you're going to need a helicopter tour or your own 2 legs for some serious hiking trails. So a lot of those trails aren't for the faint of heart. And I would definitely recommend doing a boat tour or helicopter tour if you really want to explore the Nepali coast. We'll get to that in a minute. But that some 300 million year age gap between these two islands, that has shaped a lot. And from everything from the infrastructure to the vibe to what kind of vacation you're really going to go after. But we're going to start with Maui. Maui is where you go if you want a little bit of everything. The vibe on Maui is lively, it's active, it's really the second most visited island in Hawaii. There's a reason for that because Maui delivers variety like really no other island can. So some of the experiences, obviously you got Rotohana. This is on a bucket list for a lot of people. We've talked a lot about Rotohana, even if you should drive Rotohana. And if you do decide to drive Rotohana, how to do that responsibly. I recommend if you want to do Rotohana, is to look at doing like a small guided tour from a local licensed tour company. You're going to get the best experience if you're going to be doing Rotohana because it's 64 miles of coastal highway with 600 some curves and one-lane bridges, and you'll wind through bamboo forests and passing waterfalls and cliffs, and it's an incredible experience. It's intense though. It's unforgettable. It can be uncomfortable if you're the one driving for sure. For the first time, you're going to be stopping quite a bit. So the other main experience on Maui that a lot of people do is Haleakala National Park, especially doing a sunrise. This is a dormant volcano. It rises some 10,000 feet above sea level, and people wake up early in the morning to do the drive to the summit and watch the sunrise above the clouds. It's going to be cold, so keep that in mind. You're traveling to Hawaii. Yes, you're going to want to bring a jacket, especially if you plan on doing sunrise at Haleakala Summit. You do need reservations if you are wanting to do the sunrise. You don't need reservations if you're doing sunset, though. Now, if you're wanting to do snorkeling, this is something I talked through on a one-on-one consultation for someone who is planning a trip. I would definitely recommend Molokini Crater. That experience, you do need to pay for a tour to get out to the crater. If you're wanting to do more off the shore snorkeling, a good spot. If you're staying over on the west side, Ka'anapali, there's Black Rock. There's some spots over there that would be good snorkeling spots. But if you're visiting from December through April, you're going to be in for a treat because you're going to have thousands of humpbacks migrating during that time. And Maui is a hot spot, especially off of Ka'anapali Beach in that area. You're going to be able to see whales from the shore. You could do a whale tour. But basically, it comes down to who is Maui perfect for? I would highly recommend Maui for first-time Hawaii visitors, definitely. Maui is also great for families who need beaches with facilities, lifeguards, parking. There's more resort options. Also, Maui is great for couples who want to balance, some hikes and also enjoy the spa as well. So when I go to Hawaii with my wife, Allie, we love going to Maui if it's just the two of us. For the family, we do love Oahu. And now that our girls are older, we do like going to Kauai with our family. But Maui is great for families as well, especially, I would say, younger families. There's some more resort options and kid-friendly resorts. Quick break from today's episode. Don't worry, this isn't a sponsored ad, and I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just want to say thank you for listening. If this podcast has been helpful for you at all, hitting follow on your podcast app is the best way to support it. It's free, and it helps more people plan better Hawaii trips. Thanks again for listening, and let's get back to today's episode. When comparing, so Maui is great. It's incredible. There's a lot of local spots and the pace is slower, especially we're not comparing Maui and Oahu right now, but it's definitely slower. When we get to Kauai, you'll see that Kauai is definitely slower than Maui. And then when we talk about the big island of Hawaii, that's a whole other beast in itself. And I can't wait to do that on a future episode. But let's talk a little bit about Kauai and the case for picking Kauai because it's a completely different experience. I think where Maui feels polished, it's developed. A lot of Kauai feels raw, wild, chickens. It's unplugged. It's really that country Hawaii vibe. When you think of like those small towns, Kauai has a lot of those. This is really the quietest of the main Hawaiian islands. It's rural. It moves slowly. It closes earlier. And honestly, that's really the whole point of Kauai. If you truly want to disconnect and feel like you've escaped wherever you're traveling from, Kauai is definitely a top spot to just to unplug. So let's talk a little bit more about what makes this island special. I talk a little bit about the Nepali coast. It's this 17 miles of sea cliffs. It rises some, I think, 4,000 feet straight up out of the ocean. These are some of the most dramatic coastlines on the planet. You probably have seen pictures. I'll have a picture up on the show notes page. But the catch is there's no road. You can't drive to Nepali coast, but you have options. As I mentioned earlier, your options for exploring Nepali coast are a boat tour, a helicopter tour, or hiking the 11 miles at the Kalalau Trail along the cliffs themselves. And this is really the inaccessibility is what keeps it pristine. If you're thinking about hiking, though, I always like to put an asterisk when it comes to hiking. Please know your limits. And I can't go into all the tips on hiking right now, but hiking in Hawaii is rugged and there's a lot of trails out there that are illegal and are dangerous, and many of them cross private property. This is a trail you definitely want to just research before you go, kind of know before you go. But One of my favorite spots is the Waimea Canyon. It's called the Grand Canyon of the Pacific. It's this 14 miles long and 3,600 feet deep. Red earth, green ridges, waterfalls cutting through the rock. You can drive to the lookouts. You don't need to do much. This is a great trip. You don't, especially if you have younger kids, you don't have to hike that much. There's plenty of lookouts and opportunities to see. If you've ever been to the Grand Canyon, you've been probably taken back by just the sheer size of it. Waimea Canyon does do that on a different level. So like you step up to it and you're like, ooh, it kind of takes your breath away a little bit. But it's a great spot over on the west side of the island. I didn't mention much about Maui's beaches. Maui has some of the best beaches, but Kauai has some great beaches too. Poipu Beach, I just did a full review on Poipu Beach, a full guide on it on the website. And it's the best, I think the best beach, especially family-friendly beach on Kauai. It's on the south shore of Kauai. But there's also other great spots as far as beaches, North Shore, including Hanalei Bay. You get some massive winter swells up there. Cool to just take in from the shore, not get out into the waves. But we're talking about waves that can reach up to some 30 feet. Now, one of the things I've noticed with our family, as our kids have gotten older, we have a couple teenagers already and a 9-year-old. Kauai is definitely become one of our favorites. There's just, as they're older, there's more hiking, more adventure. It's less crowded than Maui. And really that matters a lot for wanting to unplug and enjoy nature. So who is Kauai perfect for? I think repeat Hawaii visitors who want something different. Kauai is also great for serious hikers and outdoor adventurers, people who just want to unplug too. Photographers, this is a great spot with all the dramatic landscapes and really just anyone who just wants to get away from society, the crowds. Kauai is also big on eco-consciousness. So eco-conscious travelers will fit right in to Kauai as well. So all that to say, Maui versus Kauai, let me just give you a quick side-by-side comparison. So accessibility, I think Maui wins. You can reach most sites by car on Maui. Now on Kauai, you got 80% of the island requires a boat, helicopter, or long hike. Now, as far as weather, Maui's resort areas on the leeward side over by Kaanapali, they're sunnier, they're drier. Kauai is the wettest island in all of the chains. But actually the rain on Kauai comes from quick showers that really pass. It rarely rains the whole day. We haven't experienced maybe but once rain like the whole day, but always when we're on Kauai, you're going to get, we've always experienced some rain at some point of the day or some point during the week when we're on Kauai. As far as crowds, Maui is busier. It's more expensive. There's more resorts, more luxury resorts. Maui can sell out sometimes as far as I'd say both can, as far as car rentals. So just a quick tip, always get your car rental as quickly as you can, as soon as you have everything else booked. But especially during peak season, Maui's just going to be busier. Kauai, it can be quieter and it's spread out a bit more. I touched on this a little bit, but cost, Maui is the most expensive of the Hawaiian islands and Kauai is second. So it's neither budget friendly, but you're definitely getting what you pay for. And the pace of each island, Maui is more active, lively, whereas Kauai is a bit slower. It's a bit more peaceful. All right, so to make this even more simpler, I hope for you, choose Maui if you want variety, accessibility, if you want high-end resorts with adventure right there, if you want swimmable beaches with amenities, water slides at the resorts, that's fun stuff. If whale watching is on your bucket list and you happen to be traveling during those times of the year, this is definitely your island. Or if this is your first trip to Hawaii and you want to experience a little bit of everything that the island has to offer, I think Maui is your best bet. Now choose Kauai if you want to disconnect, if you're chasing world-class hiking and incredible Hawaii landscapes, if you want raw, untouched, natural beauty over convenience. Like I said, there's still a Costco though, so you'll be okay. There's a Target and all that stuff. You'll be okay. But if you crave a slower pace and you want to just unwind, or if you want to unplug on vacation, this is your island for sure. And you can do both. So maybe you do a week on Maui and then you island hop over to Kauai and do that. You can definitely do that. We've done a 12-day trip where we'll do about 4 days on Kauai and 7 days on Oahu, if I'm doing the math right. No, wait, that's 11. So, 12, 11 days. And I did a whole episode about island hopping. I'll link that below in the show notes too. And if maybe you're feeling a little overwhelmed a bit and you're not sure if you want to pull the trigger on Maui or Kauai, or you're like, well, you just threw in that option of island hopping. What does that look like? I offer one-on-one consultations where you and I sit face-to-face via Zoom, and you get to ask all your questions. We connect and you get full support from me as far as helping you plan your trip to Hawaii. So you can find the link to book a one-on-one consultation with me in the show notes below. But Maui or Kauai, there's really no wrong choice. It's just what is right for you and what is right for this particular trip in your vacation. And to find the full guide that goes into even more in depth about the islands, I will link that below in the first link in the show notes. So you can find that there, along with the link to book a consultation with me. So thanks for making it all the way to the end. And if you found this episode helpful, just go ahead and be sure to hit follow on your podcast app. All right. Until next time, my friend, as always, live with aloha. Mahalo for listening to Hawaii's Best. If you found today's episode helpful, make sure to hit follow on your podcast app so you don't miss future episodes. You can find all links and resources mentioned today in the show notes below. Hawaii's Best is produced by Shorebreak Media Group, edited by Easy Podcast Solutions, and with music by our friends Stick Figure.